What's happening, good people? Welcome to Where's His Watch Room. Today we're going to be reviewing the Swatch YVS45G. Definitely not the catchiest name out there, but is it a good watch? Well, that's what we're going to be finding out today. So this one was sent out by the watch shop. You guys know that I've been working with a watch shop for a while, and they were kind enough to send this out to review. Doesn't change my opinion, and I'm going to be completely honest about the watch. But yeah, you can find a link to the watch shop down in the description. They're a great online retailer of course, watches, but they also do jewellery and accessories as well. Brilliant customer service. I've been using Watch Shop for years before I ever even started YouTube, and I've never had an issue with them. And that's why, you know, I really do like working with them. So you can find a link to the watch and their website in the description. So let's get on with the review. And do you know what? This watch from Swatch is better than that other Swatch. Yeah, I know that's a bit confusing, but yeah, it's better than that other one in a lot of different ways, apart from one. And there's only one way that that's better in my opinion. But anyway, that aside, let's take a look at this. And did you know what? It is a nice looking watch. So we've got a fixed bezel, 60-minute timer. And you can see that all the way around. The numerals themselves are actually raised a little bit as well. Because they're silver, they pop off the black quite nice, and it's all quite nice and neat. Inside, you know, we've got a very plain rehaut, printed minute track, and very, very slimly applied thin batons for your markers. We have that little date window at the 4 o'clock, and you know what? It's actually a date window I don't mind at all. You guys know I hate date windows, especially them ones that get sandwiched between markers. But Swatch have seen sense and actually put it on the marker. Truncated that one a little bit, but do you know what? For a date window, I actually don't dislike it. Do I love it? No, but I don't hate it either. So moving on, the bulk of the dial is actually the 3 sub-dials. So we've got one that's not so useful and 2 that are quite useful. So the first one is the useless one, and it's a 1 in 10 second. I don't know why it's there, but it is. It looks nice, printing's clean, but yeah, it doesn't really do anything. The one at the 6 o'clock is actually your small seconds. Really nice again, hits the markers fine, and again, really legible. The other one is your 60-minute timer, again, quite useful. So if they could change the 10 second, 1 in 10 second one to something more useful, brilliant. But at the minute, yeah, it's not the most useful. But anyway, that aside, they're all really nice, really legible. I know you guys said that it was a little bit cramped, but do you know what? Using this daily for a month and using it for timing at work, for timing breaks and everything, it's actually been really helpful with how legible the subdials are. Moving on, you can see we've got Swatch and Swiss printed under the 12 o'clock, and the print is actually really nice and crisp. The dial itself, sunburst, grey. Not the most prominent or the most strong, but it does pop quite nicely if you get it out in some sunlight. Indoors, you know, the dial actually can shift to a really dark grey and a deep black. And you know what? With the white subdials, they really do pop off it. And even in the sunlight, you know, it's really nice and legible. We've got a crystal that covers that's domed. Does play and distort with the dial quite nice as well. And yeah, not sapphire unfortunately, but pretty nice. Moving on to the actual case itself, and we've got this really nice shape, and you can tell it's a Swatch just based on the shape without even looking at the name on the dial. So we've got a brush top of the case, brush sides, and you know what, the brushing, it's not the best I've ever seen, but it's not that bad either. The other side, you know, we've got 3 different accents, so we've got the top pusher, the bottom pusher, and of course the crown in the middle, but we'll talk more on that later. Bracelet though is actually really nice, so we've got a nice taper to it. Brushed mainly with just a nice little accent of high polish, which I do really like. The finishing, you know what, not bad. Definitely not the best I've ever seen for this price point, but not the worst either. Looking at the side, again, all brushed, and there are actually plenty of links you can remove from this, which is important, which I'll get to shortly. You can see Swatch engraved as well. Moving on to the clasp, it is butterfly. It is brushed, positive, but it is butterfly. And also, there's no half links either. So you can see where I'm going with this one. But yeah, the quality is nice. Nice flexibility, feels pretty good. But yeah, no half links and no butterfly clasp. Anyway, let's actually move on to how it wears. And you know what? It's not bad, but it's not great either. If it had some half links, then it would be so much better. But obviously it doesn't, and it isn't. Now, you can see on screen that when I actually put this on and got it sized up, as my wrist was getting a little bit more swelly, if that's even a, yeah, is that a word? I don't know. Getting swellier, the watch got really tight, and you can see on screen now just how tight and uncomfortable the watch got. That was remedied by putting a extra link in. However, that had a knock-on effect of the watch wearing too loose. Now, that might be okay for you guys. You might wear your watch loose. I like it so it's snug but not tight. This, for me, it just wobbled around my wrist too much, especially driving a manual as well. And because I wear my watch on my left hand, obviously driving right side, left, yeah, the watch was up and down my wrist all the time, banging into my hand. It was quite irritating, which is why I like to wear my watch quite snug. This was beyond that, too tight, and yeah, it's just a real shame, to be honest. Again, if they could have some half links, that would just make getting fitment so much easier. But they haven't. I also forgot to mention the back of the case as well. So this is all brushed. We've got the iconic battery hatch and some engraved specifications. The reason why I'm bringing this up now, not because I forgot about it, but is because the battery hatch actually leaves a nice dent in your arm as well, if you have to wear the watch on the tighter side. So that's just one thing to keep in mind as well. Usability of this one, do you know what, like I mentioned already, those subdials are really legible, which was perfect for the job I do. Having to be, quite time sensitive. Timing my breaks on this was, fantastic. It was a real lifesaver. 15-minute break, boom, it's got 15-minute marker. 30-minute break for dinner, boom, 30-minute marker. Literally, as soon as I log off, click the thing, bam, I know exactly when I need to be back and logged on again. Perfect. My only issue with the usability is the usability. And what I mean by that is the pushers and the crown itself. The pushers, they've not got the nicest feeling. They're a little bit soft and a bit mushy. The crown, very wobbly and loose. Just a push-pull so it's not screwed down. But yeah, it's just not the most reassuring. It's not good. It just moves around too freely. The grip's pretty decent, and the size is not bad. But yeah, it's just not the best. So it's just like any other, watch. One pull for the day, two pull for the time. And then, of course, one push to start everything. One push again to stop. Bottom pusher to reset. Very straightforward and simple to use. I couldn't find the movement in it, but obviously it's one that Swatch either make or source. I don't know the specifics. But the movement works well. It's accurate. It's just the things that control the movement are not the best, which is a bit of a shame. Moving on to another bit of a shame is the loom. Now, this does have loom. It's not good loom, but it has loom. I would rather, to be honest, not have loom and just have the watch be a little bit more affordable and have a different handset, which I forgot to cover as well. In my, but you can obviously see, there's nothing really much to talk about on the hands. They're just high polish barn style. But anyway, yeah, the loom is, yeah, it's like, why? I mean, I know they get it, they put it because I would say it's usable, but in low light situations, but it's really not. There's not enough compound, it's not strong enough. Again, I'd rather just had a solid handset to make it a little bit more, yeah. And I think as well, it does add to the cohesion with the Y and everything. But again, a stronger compound would have been, preferred. But anyway, that's by the by. As a whole, though, this watch, it gets quite a lot of things right, especially for a Swatch. Now, when you think Swatch, like I mentioned earlier, you think plastic. This is definitely a massive departure for them. But is it a watch that you should consider? And you know what? Based on the competition from like Citizen, Seiko, around a similar ballpark, their watches are just more refined across the board, let's just say. I mean, aesthetic wise, it's a preference. I mean, I like my Seikos for chronographs. I think they look really good. Citizens, I love the Eco Drive, and that's one of the big things that draws me to them. This, it's got the aesthetics for me. I really love how it looks. It's just let down in almost every other area. Build quality, for the most part, like I said, is really good, apart from the actual usability, the things that you use the most often. The case, the bracelet, built well, finished well, but again, it's just all that usability that is taken away from by the no half links, the mushy feeling pushers, the wobbly and not reassuring crown, and the price point as well. It's not the most affordable for this. And now again, you can look at rivals from other companies, and you probably would get, in some areas, a watch that's a lot better. I think for the same price point, your Seikos, your Citizens probably won't have as solid a feeling bracelet, but it will be a lot more comfortable because they've got a better clasp than what's on this one. If this had a proper clasp, or even half links, then I would have no problem saying, do you know what, it's actually, yeah, it's a little bit more premium, but it's actually a pretty good value. But because there's no half links, because we've got other issues, I would say, yeah, it is a little bit on the pricey side for what they're charging at the moment. But I will admit, they've got a lot of things right. A lot of things could be improved. But as a whole, it's not a free bad watch. If it were cheaper, I'd like to say, yeah, do you know what? It's a bit quirky, it's a bit out there for Swatch, but yeah, I like it. Given the issues and the price point, that makes it a harder sell. Oh yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. I know it's obviously different to my content that you're used to seeing, but it's just, you know, the things have had to change given everything. But anyway, I hope you found this useful. If you've got, you know, any comments, any questions, you know where to put them. Consider subscribing, you know, if you want. Now I've got everything sorted out, we're going to be, you know, bringing content back. I've actually got, when I'm waiting for a delivery from Amazon, another one, and we're going to be doing a head-to-head, which is something I've not done for a very long time. So I've got 2 watches in mind, very, very affordable, and it's going to be very, very interesting, perhaps a little bit controversial. So that'll be interesting to see, but no spoilers for that one. But yeah, guys, again, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all your support and everything while we've been on hiatus, trying to get everything sorted out. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. You know, I appreciate you continuing to support the channel. Plenty more things to come when I've got time.